Major breaking news coming out as President Joe Biden extends the student loan moratorium out till June of 2023, which means that we are still in a state of emergency and in pandemic funding till another 6 months. Take a look at the headlines. Biden extends student loan repayment freeze as forgiveness program is tied up in court. And he's saying because the student loan debt forgiveness of $10,000 and $20,000 that he did by executive action is currently tied up, he said, well, the moratorium is going to be extended out until that is resolved. And until we see some sort of resolution, no one is paying back student loan debts. Take a look at another article. This all just coming out today in the past couple hours. Student loans, Biden's eternal emergency. With his $420 billion cancellation in his legal dock, he delays repayments yet again. And this is going out. Now, we had heard potentially another 3-month extension. I had told you guys likely going into April. Well, no, it's going out into June, the end of June, so a 6-month extension. Take a look. White House extends student loan payment pause through June 2023, despite Biden's pledge. He had pledged that it was going to be done by the end of the year, but they're saying because they stopped the student loan forgiveness. Nope. He's breaking that pledge. He's extending it out even further. President Biden extends moratorium on student loan payments. Biden is extending the pause while the lawsuit on the loan relief program plays out. And take a look at this. I've got some video footage I want to share with you here in just a second, but let's go through this article very quickly. The Biden administration will extend the pause on student loan payments once again. President Joe Biden announced on Tuesday, today, as the program to cancel millions of people's student loans remains tied up in court. The extension is intended to give the Supreme Court time to rule on the lawsuit brought against Biden's student loan program during its upcoming term. The pause on payments will lift either 60 days after the Supreme Court issues a decision on the program or 60 days after June 30th, depending on which date comes first, the Department of Education says. So I had let you guys know this before in a prior video, that what that means is 60 days coming up to the extension. If we don't hear any announcements of emergency declarations being lifted or any warning for education systems or anything like that, that likely means they're going to extend it. And I let you guys know that the 60-day mark had passed, which means that an extension was coming, and I had suggested maybe another 3 months going into April. Now we're hearing, no, it's another 6 months going up to July. So huge news coming out. This is bigger than I think anybody expected. Take a look at this. It isn't fair to ask tens of millions of borrowers eligible for relief to resume their student debt payments while the court considers the lawsuit. For that reason, the Secretary of Education is going to be extending the pause of student loan payments while we seek relief from the courts, Biden said in a video post by the White House on Tuesday afternoon. Biden's plan aimed to cancel $20,000 of debt for people who receive Pell Grants in college and $10,000 for other borrowers, so long as they earned less than $125,000 or $250,000 as a married couple. In recent weeks, the plan was blocked by Republican-led lawsuits in the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals and the Northern District of Texas. Last week, the Biden administration asked the Supreme Court to overturn the recent ruling in the 8th Circuit that halted the relief payment or to consider hearing the case before the court during the upcoming terms. And here it is, you guys. I'm confident that our student debt relief plan is legal. Now, let me know your thoughts, because I've heard a lot of people say, no, this is issuing of new funds. And you saw in a previous article about $400 billion, which was the same amount as the fourth stimulus check of $1,400. Literally could send out another check to everybody in the nation with this student loan forgiveness. And people are saying Congress holds the power of the purse, not the president. He does not have the legal authority to do this, but he's saying, no, it's legal. I'm going to get it done. Now, he does have the legal authority to reallocate and reissue existing funds. We've seen it done before many times by former presidents. Former President Donald Trump did it with the LWA program. But here, this is a very gray area. Now, take a look here. That's why Secretary Cardano is going to be extending the payment pause to no later than June 30th of 2023, giving the Supreme Court time to hear the case in its terms, as they're saying, how are we going to have people start paying back their loans if we're going to end up forgiving it? Let's take a look at this Twitter video really quick.
Folks, I want to give you an update on my student debt relief plan. As Americans continue to recover from the pandemic, my administration has been working to provide student debt relief to millions of working and middle-class families across the country. But Republican special interests and elected officials sued to deny this relief, even for their own constituents. But I'm completely confident my plan is legal. But right now, it's on hold because of these lawsuits. We're not going to back down, though, in our fight to give families breathing room. That's why the Department of Justice is asking the Supreme Court of the United States to rule on the case. But it isn't fair to ask tens of millions of borrowers eligible for relief to resume their student debt payments while the courts consider the lawsuit. For that reason, the Secretary of Education is extending the pause on student loan payments while we seek relief from the courts, but no later than June 30, 2023. Which would give the Supreme Court an opportunity to hear the case in its current term. Payments will resume 60 days after the pause ends. I'm never going to apologize for helping working class and middle class families recover from the economic crisis created by the pandemic. And I'll continue working to make government work to deliver for all Americans, This is important.
There you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, also, let's take a look at the news reports coming out on this. And also, I let you guys know, just today, we're hearing in the past 24 hours, child tax credits and adult tax credits. EITCs are back as well. We're going to be seeing what other stimulus provisions come to the forefront in this lame duck Congress. Now, before we get to that, though, take a look at this MSNBC news report that just came out.
President Biden and the Biden administration will be extending the student loan payment pause a little bit longer, right? So that means that if you have student loans and you've had that sort of pause button pressed, it sounds like the Department of Education is just announcing that the repayment will not have to start up again until at least, I think the date is June, although we're going to check that with our reporter who's hopping in front of the camera. All of it, of course, against the backdrop of this student loan debt cancellation. Memoli is here with us. Mike Memoli, our White House correspondent at the North Lawn. So, Mike, correct my facts. I think it's June 30th, 2023. You don't have to pay your student loans back, federal student loans, until that date, correct?
So, Hallie, here's what the situation is. This is all, of course, prompted by the legal
Wait, that was the
uncertainty.
polite way of saying you really botched that. Let me lay it out. Please, I turn the floor over to you.
So, obviously, when the president just announced a few months ago that he was going to have this forgiveness of up to $20,000 in student loan debt for some borrowers, $10,000 for a larger population, it came in tandem with the announcement with the fact that this pause that had been in effect because of COVID-19, not requiring Americans to pay their student loan debt down at all, would also be expiring. In other words, starting on December 31st, the Department of Education was going to be instructing loan servicers to again start going through the process of requiring payments of student loan debt. Well, now, because of the uncertainty, because of these legal challenges to the president's debt forgiveness plan, what the administration is saying is basically this. If the Supreme Court or any other legal resolution comes that allows the Department of Education to go ahead and implement this forgiveness plan in the next year, then they will then extend that pause until 60 days after that point. If there is no settlement of the legal challenges by June 30th, it will go into effect 60 days after that. Let me explain what the 60 days is about. That's about giving these student loan servicers time to get their act together, but also to give some certainty to borrowers so that they can budget for your own future, right? To know that you have to start paying the minimum payments or any amount you want to pay above that of whatever your outstanding loan debt is. So, again, this is the White House now dealing with one element of the uncertainty that's been created by these legal challenges to the debt forgiveness plan, Hallie.
So there you have it, you guys. It's back. And like I said, they've got that 60-day window to warn them before they bring back the payments. But they're saying we're likely not going to be bringing it back because we're going to be wiping out all the debt. And we're not going to ask people to pay something back that we're going to be forgiving. Let me know your thoughts, you guys. Now, in addition to that, I let you know that in the past 24 hours, child tax credits for families and EITC payments are back. If you missed that, check out the video. It's on my channel. It's under the live section. So if you go to the homepage, you click on live, you can see monthly checks. It's back. There's a new push in 2022. Also, we heard that there's still excess funds across the nation, literally $500 billion just sitting there that President Joe Biden could tap into if he'd like. And also, you guys, videos on stimulus checks for everybody and how they won big in the House of Representatives. Now, if you like to see those videos, like I said, go to the homepage. And for the Child Tax Credit Live, be sure to check out this video right here. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.